Hey there viewers, a Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Retro Wheelie. Now, just like with Sea Spray, this is another brand new mold. So, my guess is with some of these mini bots in the Retro line, they're doing them first, and then whenever a slot in the future line, that's when I'll put them in the more like cartoon accurate colors. And hell, with Wheelie, we actually know that because there's a listing next year for a Studio Series Wheelie. So yeah, so they're just doing him in the toy colors first, which okay then. But yeah, this is a whole new mold as a deluxe class instead of the core class that he was back in the Studio Series a few years ago. Well, how is it? Well, starting off with the box. And of course, like with all these retro figures, it's essentially a recreation of the original, like, card back design. So of course, got the original G1 R Wheelie there, which, if you know that toy, that is, yeah, we'll see in the comparison later. But got a picture of Wheelie's vehicle mode right there. The original 80s Hasbro logo. All about Wheelie. The original G1 Transformers logo. Heroic Autobots. Back, rather perplexingly, it's the 85 like mural, which shouldn't it be the 86 one with Metroplex? But I don't know. But we got his tech spec right there. And apparently mine was from Hong Kong, so that's cool. And of course, got Road Rage right there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And for the actual figure, well, essentially it's I guess a pre-color. I say pre-color because, of course, this is the first version of this mold, but it's a pre-color of the, I guess, rumored or leaked listing of the Studio Series Deluxe Wheelie that's gonna come out next year. So, yeah, and of course, it's in the toy colors. And of course, it's that weird, I guess, kind of round, bubbly car. I would say Cybertronium, but keep in mind, like, he first appeared in the G1 movie, which was supposed to take place in 2005, which was, what, 21 fucking years ago? Oh my god. So this was more Hasbro's attempt at guessing what cars would look like in 2005. I mean, great guess, guys. But anyway, I'm just going to call this a Cybertronian car. But yeah, like, it is a rather cute looking car. Got the little front duck bill there, which on the original toy was meant to be his feet, but of course with how this transforms, it just falls up into the chest because this guy's transformation is actually pretty cool. And we've got pinned wheels, so yeah, he does roll quite well. We've got these back bits here, which they're more necessary for the transformation because the original toy didn't really have these gray bits, but they do look pretty nice. Just have the hands right there, as you can see. Got the, I guess, what's meant to be the windshield, because, yeah, on the original toy, you just lift it up, and then now you see his face. But here's an actual, like, I guess, windshield facsimile, I guess. Got a port here if you want to plug in a gun. And the underneath is his leg. So, yeah. But still, it's a really nice looking car mode. Now, for accessories, we just get the one. And it's a bit of a flux capacitor. But jokes aside, this is meant to be a slingshot. Because, you know, he did use that in the film and it hit Grimlock on the nose. So, more evidence that this is meant to be turned into actual, like, 86 Wheelie at some point. Because, you know, the Dual Wheelie toy didn't really have any accessories. So, this just proves that this is meant to turn into actual 86 Wheelie. But, hey, I'm not complaining that he's got an accessory. And the storage is actually pretty cool, because, you know, normally you just plug the accessory on the top and there you go. It's a antenna for something, but no. With this, we've got a port right here. Got a bit there and that just plugs right in. And there you go. It's always nice when the weapon storage is actually hidden within the vehicle. So yeah. But yeah, it does mean I'm not getting my blast effect tub out today, because, I mean, there's no gun. I can't really get any blast effects out. But still. And finally, one last thing before we transform him. How does he look with the original toy? Because this is what he's meant to be homaging. And, well, if we pardon the original image's lighting, because that was like, what, a decade or two ago? Honestly, I think it did a pretty good job. Like, all the actual deco bits are meant to be there. Like, we've got the orange, the light orange. We've got, like, the teal right here, or whatever. We've got the baby blue right here, the Autobot symbol. Got the gray bit here, which is meant to cover the head on the original toy. I really think it's the gray, but that's more for the transformation. How we even managed to capture the gray wheels, which is amazing. Yeah, this is more lifted up, but I think that's there in the original like animation model, and honestly, I think I kind of prefer how it looks. I don't know. I think it's just because, as we all know, the original Wheelie toy is rather dumpy looking, so... But, yeah. And, well... I guess we can interpret this hinge as a spot for the rub sign, although it's obviously much smaller. Like, obviously we can't really put a rub sign here, because it'll get in the way of the transformation with these... Like with the hinge here, but But anyway, that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. Overall, I think it's really nice looking. I'm quite excited to see how it's going to look in his cartoon colors. So, yeah. So, taking the slingshot off for the flux capacitor piece. Well, moving on to the transformation. Well, the transformation on this guy is actually kind of intricate, because on the original toy, it's just pull out the legs, flip the bit up to show his face. There you go. But this guy, actually, a lot of steps involved. So, what we're going to do is untab the front bit from here. And you can see that the cross is actually tabbed into there. So, you actually do have to untab that as well. And rather hilariously, his deck literally has a spot to nestle in. Oh my god, that's actually hilarious. But yeah, there's a spot for that to nestle into there for the Transformation 2 vehicle mode. But we're just going to split legs. The front wheels are just going to spin around like so. Just turn the legs 90 degrees. The feet up. And the legs done. Now with the arms, we're just going to untab them. And, well, the arms are on this, like, hinge here, so they just go down, like so. Now, this front bit is kind of fiddly at first, so we're just going to up. Yeah, you can see that it can come off, so I wish it was pinned in, but what we're just going to do is fold in this front bit, and you'll want to have it lined up. So if I can get it to do so, you want to have it lined up so it's like this, if you can see that there. And now we can fold this down and in, like so. You can take this, just move all that down. We can open up the entire back section, and we can double hinge this grey section in, and I can just hinge into the torso. There we go. And now we want to try and push this down, and that's going to tab into there. This can take a bit of effort, but it does tab in. And again, try and get the shoulders tabbed upwards. There we go. So just had them hinged up. Now the back is going to hinge upwards again, and these grey flaps are going to close up, and that's essentially going to hide all the wood kibble, as well as essentially keeping everything closed in, like so. Oh, I had to pause to sneeze there. Oh. But anyway, we are nearly there. I don't even have to raise the camera for this one. So we're just going to move the shoulder down, rotate the forearm, then rotate the hand. Then do the same here, rotate the forearm, rotate the hand. And that's basically it. Well, try and get things all straightened. Try and get things all straightened out so he's not standing all lopsided. There we go. And here we have Wheelie in robot mode. And yeah, that transformation is definitely, like, I would call that an enjoyable transformation. I really like it. Like, when you first do it, you have no idea how he's going to do it. Well, like, you have no idea how he's going to transform, but once you figure it out, like, you can do it with little to no problems. So, yeah. And like, comparing it with the original G1 Wheelie transformation, I much prefer this. But yeah, having a 360, once again, I can see this being a Studio Series Wheelie at some point. Because this is definitely more the cartoon silhouette. Like, yeah, it's the toy colors, because looking at the face, he just looks like he's got to put on sun cream. He just looks sunburnt. But, yeah, as we can see, it definitely looks more like... It looks more like the cartoon model than the toy, which we'll see in the comparison later. But yeah, it still looks really nice, even in the toy colors. And of course, with the slingshot, well, if you're not using it, then I'm pretty sure you can put this somewhere. I find that if you just put that in there, it doesn't actually fall out unless you shake it, but it still is a pretty good, like, place to put it. Or you can just plug it into the back there. Or, well, got these tabs here on the sides where if you want, you can just There you go. Just add that onto the side there. That's probably the intended way to put it. But, of course, we can just have him hold it. So, yeah. Now, very quickly, there is one problem I have, and I'm not sure if it's just with my copy or if it's with every copy. I'm going to go with it's probably just my copy. So, the ankle pivots. So, yeah, it seems that the ankles can only move about there, which, yeah, that is unfortunate, but with this one, you can just, like, move it like that, and it's fine. But with this foot, yeah, that one falls off a bit too easily. So I have to be really careful when moving the foot. Otherwise, yeah. So, once again, this is probably just an issue on my copy, but it still is kind of, like, it's still an issue. You know, QC problems are still problems. But, anyway, very quickly before we move on to the articulation, let's see how he looks with the G1 toy, and oh my god! Yeah, this one is a big improvement, because, don't have to say anything, just look. Yeah, G1 Wheelie is not a pretty sight in toy form. So you can see that this is very clearly the cartoon model, just in the toy colors. Like, they made no attempt to make the hands red, for example. And honestly, I have no problem with that. Yeah, I think out of all the mini bots, I think Wheelie's probably the ugliest. Okay, let's move on, because God, looking at this thing's just making me feel weird. So, for the articulation, well, the head can, of course, go side to side. It is on a ball joint, so he can slightly look up. Arms, pretty much a universal joint, so it can move around. He can T-pose. I guess if you want, you can also move that hinge down. Thanks to the transformation, you've got a bicep swivel. Pretty decent elbows. Wrists can rotate, again, thanks to the transformation. Waist rotation. You can kick forward, kick back, do the splits, although, again, as I mentioned, pivot's not that good because the fucking come off on this leg. Knee, about 90 degrees there. And swivel there at the thigh. So yeah, pretty posable. And overall, I think that this is a pretty good little figure. Is it better than the core class? I don't know. I don't have the core class, but for like scaling with the other mini bots, like for example, let's put it with the other retro figures. So here he is with all the retro figures so far, minus Outback because I don't have him yet. And honestly, yeah, they're doing a really good job of the mini bots. I mean, yeah, B's still using the Earthrise mold, but even that mold still works. Like, even this mold still works with the mini bots of today. So yeah, and keep in mind, Seaspray is still exclusive to the retro line, I'm sure we'll get a cartoon accurate one in like Age of Evolution or whatever the line's gonna be called. But honestly, yeah, I think this retro line's actually really cool. Now, is that leak saying that we're getting bug bite and exhaust true? I don't know. Keep in mind, like we've had leaks saying we'll get like, oh, sure, Shark's gonna be in Legacy or we'll get Crocodile's down the bottom. They never happen. So remember, not every leak is true. Leaks can change. Like, so yeah, just keep in mind. But for these guys, they look really good together. And for this guy, I know there's that leak listing, but even if that's false, I can still see this guy being redecorated into a cartoon accurate wheelie, because it's literally the cartoon model, just in the toy colors. So I can see what you're planning, Hasbro. I see what you're thinking. So yeah, this has been my review. Well, hang on, I actually forgot to say first. Do I recommend him? Well, I think he's a pretty fun figure. Like, it's a cool vehicle mode, he's fun to pose. The transformation is also really fun, but keep in mind, it's Wheelie. And we all know that Wheelie is a huge pain in the arse. But still, I recommend this figure. If you're not keen on the colors, maybe wait up for the inevitable cartoon color version that they'll definitely do. So, I definitely do recommend this mold, either as this version or the definitely future cartoon color version. So, yeah. So, this has been my review on Retro Wheelie, and this is a Transformers fan signing off.